Hi all, and welcome to our software programming languages tier list. For criteria, we're going to use whatever I feel like using at the time. I have worked with over 1/3 of these technologies, so I'm really the expert in these matters. And I've done many calculations on some of these, and for some of them that I don't know, we're going to guess. So to start off our list, we're going to start with the Java language. Now, some people confuse Java with actual coffee, and they pour coffee on their keyboards and they break. Now, that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to get an IDE like Eclipse. And this is one of those languages that really just has it all. It's object oriented. You can really build everything. It's currently really widely used. It's got a whole bunch of cool things that will spring you into a groovy mood. Get it? And it's really just an overall great language. So S tier for Java, easily. Now, Apple is a company that is also technology. And because of this, they make languages. So we're going to be talking about is Objective-C. And this is a language that's just really bad. So we're going to stick it down in the W tier for weird, whack, and replaced by Swift, which is this language. In fact, the double tier is going to be garbage collected by Java's garbage collector. More programming jokes. And Swift, pretty good. B tier. Now, if diamonds are forever, rubies are definitely not. And the other main thing is that nobody would ever in their right minds put their rubies on train tracks. So the naming convention for Ruby on Rails just doesn't really make any sense. D tier for diamonds for Ruby. Now, if rubies are forever, then pearls are definitely not forever. And you'd think a language like Perl, the logo would be like an oyster or a clam. But Perl said, hey, you know what? No, I'm going to be a camel. And that pretty much defines Perl. So E tier for Perl. Have you ever been on a website before? The internet has this thing called the World Wide Web, where you can go on internets and do some websiting. HTML5 is easily the most popular markup language. Now, I know it's technically not a software programming language, but it's still really used, so A tier for HTML. Microsoft Windows. Now, technically, this isn't a language. However, sometimes they do make languages. They made one once called Visual Basic, and then they gave it an IDE called Visual Studio Basic. But then they made another text editor IDE called Visual Studio Code, and they gave them the same logos pretty much. We get to put Visual Studio Basic way down in the V tier for very bad. Why would you do that? And we got rid of Objective-C because I didn't want it on here anymore. Now, do you like getting stuff done fast and correct? Well, that's a C language. Boom, S tier. Fast and with some structure? Boom, C++. You want a language that resembles C, but only in name only? Boom, C#. Also Microsoft. You like something that's fast and is blockchain and built by C++? Easy, S tier, Solidity for blockchain. The other really cool thing about Solidity is that it's really easy to pick up. It's just one of those languages where if you screw up, you're going to lose someone $600 million. Speaking of blockchains, the Rust language. This language is also a video game, so we're going to have to put Rust in the S tier because of it makes video games. Now, if you're new to software program engineering, then you might be thinking, JavaScript. Didn't we talk about Java a little bit before? JavaScript is a language that isn't doing the Java, so it also belongs in the bad naming section. But that's really just where the egregiousness begins. Now, here's the thing about JavaScript. Everybody uses JavaScript, but nobody likes JavaScript. JavaScript is an unlimited portal to hell spawn JavaScript-like languages. So JavaScript isn't actually coffee related. So somebody said, let's change that. And then they made CoffeeScript. Someone said, JavaScript is dynamically typed. What if it was statically typed? And then they made TypeScript. Someone said, what if JavaScript wasn't like JavaScript at all, and we made it at Google? And that's pretty much it. That's Dart. And the amount of completely different front-end frameworks that come out is absolutely insane. And package managers and all these other tools, people say, JavaScript, yeah, I'm going to use it, but I don't like it at all. So I'm going to make something totally different, but also still, for some reason, write it in JavaScript. And then finally, we have the Node.js, which is also JavaScript, but not really JavaScript at the same time. JavaScript was originally a web language designed for front ends and running in the browser. Somebody said, wouldn't it be great if I took this tool and used it for something completely different than what it was made for? That's Node.js. It's like if I used a hammer to screw in a light bulb, or a lawnmower to shave my beard. Also, 3 minus 3 is 0, but 3 plus 3 is 33. That's JavaScript. Now, because JavaScript is the bedrock of all web dev and all web development, we are going to put it in the S tier. However, because it super freaking sucks and I hate it, we're going to move it down to the A tier. Additionally, we're going to put a little holder spot on it because I don't want to see it anymore. JavaScript has bugs coded in it intentionally. So if you want to use JavaScript, give yourself a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is wrong with me? Elixir is what you use when you run out of mana in video games. Now, all those other languages that I mentioned, they're also technically languages, even though they're not at all. And they also go into this hell box of not good names and not quite JavaScript. Blah. Next is Go. There's some Ethereum stuff written in Go, and it's pretty good. I like Go. A tier for Go. SQL. I don't know. Here? Sure. I don't know. Co-op. Except for it's in like every legacy server. So if you learn it, you pretty much have job security. Bash is freaking sick. Scala, I guess. PowerShell, no thanks. And of course, triple S tier for Python. Python is one of those languages that it may not be the most performant language out there, but it's really easy to pick up, and I personally really like it. Blockchain, but Python. That's Viper. So A tier for Viper. It would be S tier, but nobody uses it except for Curve. Brendan Eich himself can go in B tier for building Brave. So B for Brave. Linux isn't a language, but triple S tier for Linux. C tier for Stack Overflow. And then I guess here just a couple more because that's what I feel like putting them at the moment. So there we have it, the official SUFAR programming engineers language list tiers. And thank you. Bye.